For 3,000 years, in schools, in books, everywhere, we have been told the same story. Brave Achilles, noble Hector, and the most beautiful woman in the Helen. The Trojan War is the first great showdown between East and West. It is where the greatest legend of the ancient world intertwines with historical reality. According to mythology, Prince Paris falls in love with the Spartan queen Helen, sparked by her abduction. The war continues as the Achaeans, the Greeks, wear down the walls of Troy for 10 years with arrows and catapults. Legendary heroes like Hector and Achilles take the stage. In this war, Achilles kills Hector, and his father begs to take his body back from Achilles. And Achilles, a demigod, dipped into the water of immortality by his heel as a baby, was only vulnerable there because the water did not touch that spot, and that is exactly where he is struck by an arrow, losing his life. This bloody siege, where even the gods were said to take sides, ended not by brute force, but by the famous wooden horse trick, conquering the city from within, and Troy's tragic end, consumed by fire, was etched into history forever. A 10-year siege for the sake of a woman's love. Thousands of soldiers far from home waiting to avenge their king's wife. Sounds very poetic, doesn't it? I can almost hear you saying, it sounds just as empty. I believed this story for years too, until today. But in the ancient world, kings were not as emotional as poets and bards. They were pragmatic. They chased strategic moves just to keep their kingdom standing. Would they sacrifice thousands of soldiers and hundreds of ships for a single person? Of course not, and they didn't. If there is this much blood spilled, there must be a bigger reason behind it, meaning gold, or a commodity through which they could reach it. Today, we are going to lift that veil together. Are you ready for takeoff? Fasten your seatbelts and get ready to watch the real world from your small windows. We are taking off now. Have a good flight, ladies and gentlemen. Your research archaeologist is now in the cockpit. Enjoy the show. The scientific explanation gained a whole new dimension in 1988 with the German archaeologist Professor Manfred Korfmann, who took charge of the Troy excavations. Korfmann called this the wind theory. According to this theory, the currents in the Dardanelles Strait are strong, and for the majority of the year, the wind blows from the north, directly against the ships. In the Bronze Age, when sailing technology was not yet developed, ships had to wait for favorable winds to cross into the Black Sea, because their rigging systems only allowed them to sail with the wind from behind. Sometimes, this wait lasted for weeks. Where did they wait? Of course, in the most sheltered bay of that time, where they could meet their needs. Besseck Bay, the harbor of Troy. This was a tremendous opportunity for Troy, and the kingdom used it literally like a mint. Pilotage services, selling supplies, and most importantly, transit tolls. Troy was the obligatory toll booth of the ancient world. So, what were these ships carrying? Here lies the real secret. We call that era the Bronze Age. To produce bronze, you need copper, and most importantly, tin. Tin was the oil of that era. Without it, you couldn't make weapons. You couldn't equip your army. The Mycenaean kingdoms in Greece were desperate for this raw material. However, tin came from the east, from Asia, and who held the key to this trade route? Troy. For the Greeks, capturing Troy meant seizing not just a city, but the global economy. What I am telling you is not just a theory. In the heart of Anatolia, the Hittite tablets found in Hattusa mention a city named Wilusa. Linguists have proven that Wilusa is none other than Troy itself. Hittite records speak of constant tension between Wilusa and the Ahiawa, coming from the west, that is, the Greeks. The treaties made with King Alaksandu prove the geopolitical importance of this city with documents. In other words, the war had already begun at diplomatic tables centuries before Homer's Iliad. In the Troy excavations, especially in the Troy 6 and 7 layers, luxury goods were found that were not produced in the city but came from very far away. This shows they were taking a commission from the transit trade point. History shows us that people change, technologies change, but conflict of interest never changes. Helen's beauty may have launched 1,000 ships, but what truly filled those sails was not Helen's great love. No. What truly inflated those fluttering rags hoisted up the mast was Troy's money-making wind and the greed for wealth. If you are chasing the untold truths buried within the dusty pages of history, you are in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe to discover what lies beyond the visible together. For now, may fair winds be with you.